Good day and welcome to Predators Proclivity, a podcast where we look at data from the season for the NHL Nashville Predators and make comments upon it. I'm your host, Preston Proctor. Tonight is the final regular season game for the Nashville Predators taking on the Dallas Stars, which is their last regular season game too. The Stars are headed into the playoffs, not doing so well right now, having lost 6 in a row. But they're second in the Central Conference, Central Division. They did have a chance to potentially overtake Winnipeg. They wound up 8 points behind them. Dallas did win 7 in a row before losing 6 in a row. Hopefully that losing streak ends at 7. Because I guess let's go ahead and start into, so in the playoff watch, Winnipeg did win the President's Cup, the highest regular season points. That's generally a bad sign. Minnesota and St. Louis did clinch wild card spots, so Calgary has been eliminated. So Minnesota is the first wild card spot, and St. Louis is the second, 96 points. And so that's the Western Conference. So we'll have Winnipeg playing St. Louis, Vegas playing Minnesota, and them being the division heads, Winnipeg and Vegas. Dallas, Colorado will play. Dallas has the home ice there. The Kings and Oilers play. The Kings have home ice there. The season is not over until tomorrow. The last games are tomorrow, so I guess Thursday is the end of the season. Not sure when the playoffs start. I would bet this weekend, but I'm not sure. But anyway, that's so the playoffs and the order in the Western Conference is set. The Eastern Conference has a touch of clarity. Still has one spot still up for debate, the second wild card spot. So the team that Washington plays is yet to be determined. But Washington will play either Montreal or Columbus. Montreal plays tonight at Carolina, of all places, and they are 2 points ahead of Columbus, so they control their destiny. If they get 1 point tonight, it's all over. If they lose in regulation tonight, then it comes down to Columbus playing the Islanders tomorrow. Montreal is at home versus Carolina, and Columbus will be at home versus the Islanders. So that position, the opponent for Washington, still has to be determined. As for everything else, Toronto has clinched the top of the Atlantic, so Toronto will play Ottawa in the first round. Tampa Bay will play Florida, Tampa Bay having the home ice there. And, so they are 4 points ahead of Florida. Florida's season is over. Tampa Bay still has one more game to play. So Tampa Bay, home team, home ice versus Florida. In the Atlantic, Toronto playing Ottawa. And so Washington, in the Metropolitan Washington, the opponent not yet determined, but they will have home ice. And then Carolina and New Jersey will be playing each other. Carolina having the home ice. So, that's the Calgary's the only team that got eliminated, right? Toronto got their division. So it's all down to the last 2 days, which I guess is kind of fun. Maybe in this case, I don't know. I think it would be kind of fun if Montreal was playing Columbus, but they're not. So there you go. As far as our free agent watch, number 7 defenseman Mark Del Gaizo was waived yesterday, and the Predators have an injury. England is injured, so if England can't go, Del Gaizo could still play for Nashville tonight, but waived so he can go down and play for Milwaukee. Milwaukee is currently first in the Central Division of the AHL. Interesting, 5 of 7 teams in that division have clinched playoff spots. There is one more regular season game, and I'm guessing I didn't take a huge look at the standings there, but if Milwaukee wins that game, they should clinch the division. But they're in the Calder Cup either way. But so anyway, Mark Del Gaizo being put on waivers so he can go and help Milwaukee in their Calder Cup effort. And that's the only free agent. Mark Del Gaizo is an unrestricted free agent, Group 6 this year. So something will need to happen to him. I when they put him on waivers, I always get worried somebody's going to pick him up. But I guess we'll see. For tonight's game, tonight the Dallas Stars are here in Nashville for the last game of 4. And good thing they got them all in the regular season. Yeah, so the last game of 4 versus Dallas, the final game of the regular season for both teams. So far this year, Nashville is 1-2 against Dallas, having lost 3-4 in Nashville, winning 4-1 in Dallas, and then losing 1-5 in Dallas. So, kind of alternating there. Nashville has only won 2 periods this season, but so has Dallas. They have they're 2-2-5 against Dallas, so Dallas will be 2-2-5. Both teams have won two periods and tied 5. Interesting, the Preds won a game, but only won 1 period in that game. They won in the first game, the 3-4 loss. They won the they won the third period. And then in the second game, the game that they won the second period. So they won the second period in the second game and the third period in the first game. And, and then Dallas has only won 2 periods too for winning 2 games. So that's pretty tough. No score in the first period so far this year. There's been no score in all 3 games. Last year, there were only 2 games, 2 of the 4 where there was any scoring, and each team scored once in the first period of both of one game. The Preds got 1 goal and Dallas got 4. So in the series with Dallas looks to be pretty non-scoring in the first period this year. We'll see how tonight goes. Last year, the order of the games was the same, which was kind of interesting. Nashville bookending the series with 2 and Dallas in the middle. Last year, Nashville was 2-2 against Dallas. So hopefully that is true again this year. Dallas is 50-25-6. 22-15-3 on the road. So overall, they've got twice as many wins as losses. Not so much a road record, 22-15-3. But hey, they are second in the Central with 105 points, headed to the playoffs. This is the end of a 2-game road trip for them. They lost Monday in Detroit 4-6, which extended their losing streak to 6 games. Personnel changes. Notably, they signed Mikko Rantanen from Carolina. They acquired him and then signed him from Carolina for Logan Stankoven, a conditional first round 2026, conditional first round 2028, third round 2026, and third round 2027. So big trade there. Rantanen started the season in Colorado, wound up being traded to Carolina because Colorado could not figure out how to afford him. And Carolina thought they could. wasn't able to come to any agreement, so they found another team, and Dallas was able to sign him. $96 million over 8 years, if I remember correctly. As far as player update, the same players, they had 4 players injured when we played last. 3 of those are still on injured reserve and not expecting to see any of them tonight. Tyler Seguin and Nils Lundqvist not necessarily going to be missed so much. Lundqvist has been out since February. He only played 39 games. Seguin only played 19 games this season. So those two missing, they will be missing defenseman Miro Heiskanen. They didn't seem to miss him in the last game against Nashville, but he was first in time on ice with 25:09. Getting to this a little bit more, the top 3 defensemen in ice time are all injured and may not play. I guess they were rested. The other 2 guys were on rest duty against Detroit. So maybe this 6-game slide is just a way for Dallas to rest their players to get ready for the playoffs, and hopefully they decide to rest some more tonight. One player that was on injured reserve when we met last time was number 18 center Sam Steele. He's 71 games this season, or at least at that time it had been. I didn't update that, but he is back to playing. Additional to the 3 I've already mentioned who are out, defenseman Thomas Harley and defenseman Esa Lindell, both of those are day-to-day out for rest. And, Harley is second in time on ice with 50 points, and Lindell is third in time on ice. The other person that is out is number 27 left wing Mason Marchmont, who is ill. It's expected back today, but probably not. He has 46 points. So I think most likely Harley, Lindell, Marchmont, and Heiskanen will not be back for this game, since it's not meaningless, but it has no bearing on how things go in the playoffs. Dallas will be taking on Colorado and playing at home. They have a pretty stellar home record. Dallas is 28-10-3, almost 3-1 at home. So they're looking forward to playing Colorado and not really worried about these teams here at the end of the season. That would be my summation of where Dallas is at. I still you hate to see a team lose 6 in a row, but I guess they hopefully they get it back together for Colorado, because I definitely will be taking Dallas over Colorado in that series. I'm not a Colorado fan. I've hated Colorado since Patrick Raw. And even to the point that I know I don't know him personally. I don't know any of these people personally. They could be great people or they could be perverts. No idea. So I like them or I don't like them based upon what I know from the teams I watch playing them. And Patrick Raw, spoiled little brat, got every call in the world when he played for Colorado, and he won the Vezina Trophy twice when he was Montreal, and then went to Colorado, won the Stanley Cup. It's like all of a sudden, back to the whole thing that the Western Conference can't win the Vezina Trophy. Hellebuck better win it this year. I'm telling you what. For Winnipeg, that guy has just been stellar. I think he won it last year, maybe, but I think last year the Vezina did go to the Western Conference. But if you go back to, I did an analysis last summer of the last 30 years, did not include last season, but the 30 award years previous, there was a year that didn't have that the NHL did not play. So the last 30 award years, in 25 of the years, the Vezina Trophy, which goes to the quote-unquote best goaltender as determined by the general managers, which is surprising that there would be so much bias. 25 of those 30 years, the Vezina Trophy went to the Eastern Conference, which I think is unwarranted, that number of times. So, but there you go. So Dallas is... This is not the playoff preview. But anyway, yeah, so Dallas, I mean, I'd love to see the Preds win tonight. Hopefully, we've got tickets, but my wife and I are both sick. So really, we might have to play it by ear. And I hate to go to the game and get anybody else sick. I don't know. I don't think I'm that sick, but definitely not on my A game today. And but anyway, so hopefully it's nice to go and see a win. The other, we'll get to this a little bit, but nice for the Preds to finish with a winning record at home. They did, with all these players out, one other transaction that Dallas did is on the 12th. They did recall a defenseman, Alexander Petrovic, number 28, from the AHL Texas Stars. So they have recalled him in anticipation of all these guys not playing. As for the Predators, yes. The Predators are 29, 44, and 8. They are headed to golf season, not the postseason. They are 19, 18, and 3 at home. Again, it would be really nice to finish the season with more wins than losses. But that hopefully is tonight's game. Hopefully that tonight winds up being a win. That would be great. The Preds are 7th in the Central Division with 66 points. That's not going to change. They're where they're at in the Central, where they're at in the league, all of that is set. This is the end of a 2-game homestand, having lost to Utah Monday night 3-7. Game was a little hard to watch. Personnel changes, mentioned this earlier. Number 8 defenseman Andreas England is day-to-day. Pretty much a solid defenseman, no real notable stats, but nice always to see him out there. Another unrestricted free agent, by the way. England is an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season, currently $1 million cap, so cap hit. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, so he is day-to-day, along with Colton Sissons, who is now day-to-day. He had been listed as out. He's been out of the lineup since the end of March. Day-to-day, solid player. Again, I guess no, he's not the one that they were missing on the power play. Is somebody else. But and Yossi out. Still expect could be back tonight. That's what it says. Who knows? He had been day-to-day, went to injured reserve, but he's been out since the end of February. So nothing new there. Not exactly sure what to expect out of any of those players. And because of all of this, the Preds did recall a defenseman, number 85, Ryan Ufko from Milwaukee. He played versus Utah Monday night, so they have recalled him, and they have waived Del Gaizo, but I guess he could still be in the lineup tonight too. So, okay, let's that takes us to stats. What are we going to see? Well, I'll tell you what we're going to see. The Preds did get the first goal the other night, and then it was all downhill from there. So they, at home, are 10-9-3 when they get the first goal. First goal in the first period, they're 10-7-3. If they get the first goal in the second period, they're 0-2. If they do not get the first goal, they're 9-9. So almost the same wins and losses either way. 3 overtime losses when they did get it. If they get the goal, or the opponents get the goal in the first period, sorry about the whistling, they are 6-7. If it happens in the second period, the Preds have a winning record, 3-2. At home, the Preds are winning the first period. They have a record of 18-9-13 in the first period. They did, I think it was blocked out. I think they lost the first period the other night. But they're 18-9-13 in the first period, 11-18-11 in the second. That's right, they lost the first, tied the second, lost the third the other night. So 18-9-13 in the first, 11-18-11 in the second, and 14-18-8 in the third. 4-3-1. 4-3-1. Yeah, 4-3-1 in overtime and 1-0 in a shootout. So, yeah. And that matters only because of how the games turn out. And how do the games turn out? Well, I'll tell you. When the Preds win the first period, they're 11-7. Not 11-7. When they lose, they're 2-7. And when they tie, they're 6-7. So 7-7-7 for the losses, 11-2-6 for the wins in the win, lose, and tie categories. That's funny. 7-7-7. Oh, huh. When they win the second period, they're 10-1. Very strong there. If they lose the second period, 4-14. If they tie it, 5-6. In the third period, they're 13-1 when they win it, 2-16 when they don't, and 4-4 if they tie. Removing out the empty nets part of that equation, the Preds are 9-1 when they win the third period without an empty net, they're 9-1 when they removing empty nets. I guess they could win the period, lose the game, give up an empty net still. So anyway, removing empty nets, they're 9-1 when they win the third period, 3-12 when they lose, and 7-8 when they tie. It's funny, tied records end up with split decisions, but I guess that kind of makes sense. Then looking at the combinatorics of the first and second periods, when they win the first and win the second, they're 5-0. Let's just continue the winning. So when they win the first, they win the second, they're 5-0. Win the first, lose the second, they are 3-4-2. And when they win the first and tie the second, they're 3-0-1. When they lose the first and win the second, they're 2-1. So that's only happened 3 times. Lose the first, lose the second, 2 losses, and you lose the game. They're 0-3. Lose the first, tie the second, 0-3. So a lot of that's 3 times across the board. So when they 9 times. 9 times they have lost. Is that right? Yeah, 9 times. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, 9 times. That's okay. That's right. Yeah, 9 times they've lost the first, and they're 2-7. And those 2 wins came because they won the second. They did, but they won the second once and didn't. But 3 losses, 3 ties. Yeah. Well, tied the second. 3 times they lost 3 times they won the second, 3 times they lost the second, 3 times they tied it. And in all those instances, they lost the game, except twice when they won the second. So not a good scenario to lose the first. Tying the first If they tie the first, win the second, they're 3-0. So that's a good number. Tie the first, lose the second, 1-5. So not so good. Tie the first, tie the second. That's a split decision, 2-2. So the best scenario in all of this is to win the second. Seriously. Something that they're not very good at doing. But if they win the second, it really sets things up pretty well. I guess, well, the calculation I should make is coming into the third, win, losing, tying. I do look at a difference in goal scoring based upon the where the teams are at coming in, but have not done do the analytics of the first and second. The combinatorics for the third would be a little bit different. I guess, anyway, I should take a look at the third period. I should clean up my spreadsheet. Something to do in the off season. So the best scenario here in Nashville is to win the second, even if they don't win the first. If they win the second, they don't win the first, they win the second. That's happened 6 times. They were 5-1. So 5-0 when they win both, and 5-1 if they at least win the second. So that's, that second period's pretty important that way. Okay, and the winning goal. Let's head into the winning goal. I really should go into goal scoring at this point, but the winning goal. Here in Nashville, the winning goal is now split between the second and third period. The Utah did get the winning goal in the third period the other night, so 12 times each for the second and third period, so evenly split. 30%, 20% in the first, so 8 times. The Preds winning, equally distributed, pretty equal. 6 in the third, but 4 in the first, second, and overtime. So evenly spread between those with a slight uptick for the third period, 32% for the third period. For the opposition, 38% of the time when they win, they get the winning goal in the second period. That's 8-6 in the third. So so 6 times so of the 12 times that the winning goal has been scored in the third period, 6 times by the Preds, 6 times by the opponents. Funny. Okay, now we can talk about goal scoring. I think I forgot to cover the entering. It'll be kind of interesting here at the end. So here in Nashville, the Preds are outscoring their opponents in the first period, 40-32. Interesting, they tie. If they lose the game, they still are tied in the first period, 18-18. If they win the game, they are outscoring their opponents 22-14. So the 8-goal differential in the first period is in those games where the Preds won. Now they are being outscored by 11 in the second period, and they are being outscored about 2.5-1 when they lose, giving up 20 goals. So they're 12-32. They scored 12 and given up 32 for a differential of 20 when they lose the game. They have a differential of 9 when they win, so they score 24-15 when they lose. And then in the third period, they also have a 9-goal differential, which taking out the empty net goals, which Utah did get one the other night, so that's almost equal, 12 for the Preds versus 11 empty net goals for the opposition. So they're being outscored by 10 in the third period, even taking out the empty net goals. So that's not good. The third period, the goal scoring differential is escalated for the winning team. When the Preds win, they're outscoring their opponents 31-12 in the third period, while they're being outscored 34-6. 34-6. 34-6. Holy cow. In the third period when they lose. 34-6. Holy smokes. That's about a sixth. That's crazy. That's crazy. About a 2.5 advantage for the Preds over their opposition when they win, but almost 6-1 when they lose. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Whoo. How do I really feel about that? Okay, so let's look at goal scoring in the periods based upon the Preds entering the periods winning, tied, and losing. So that doesn't really make sense in the first, but in the second and third it does. When the Preds are winning, entering the second period, they are being outscored 20-11. So almost 2-1 entering the second period winning. If they enter the second period tied, they are being outscored again here, 16-19. That's a delta of only at least 3 at least. And then if they enter the second period losing, they do have, they are outscoring now 9-8. So that's good. That's not enough of a delta to make up for the fact that they came into the period losing, but at least they are outscoring their opponents. So that's the second period. That's the only scenario where they are outscoring their opponents. Hence the record. I mean, at home, actually, they do have a winning record, so you would think it would be slightly different. But I guess they get their goals in the first period or they don't. In the third period, if they enter the third period when winning, they do outscore their opponents 18-12, 8 of those being empty net goals. So taking out the empty net goals, they're being outscored by their opposition 10-12. So not necessarily at even strength, but without the empty net, they are being outscored. If they enter the third period tied, they're being outscored 7-12. A couple of empty nets in there, 1 for the Preds, 2 for the opposition. So that comes down to 6-10. If they enter the third period losing, they're being outscored 22-12. And taking out the empty net goals, that becomes 16-11. So taking out the empty net goals in every scenario, entering the third period, the Preds are being outscored in the third period. The only saving grace is that if they enter the third period winning, they do outscore their opponents, but that's because of the 8 empty net goals. So that's not what you're looking for. That's not what you're looking for. Special teams. Special teams for the Preds are pretty good. If I jump down a little bit here in my notes, 21% is where they're at for the season. And in the first period, the Preds are scoring on the power play at a rate of about 30%, 21% in the second and third. So that's pretty good. Here in Nashville, their power play seems to be pretty decent. And as a comparison between home and away, even though tonight's a home game, and looking up here, 112 opportunities at home versus 113 on the road, 27 goals at home and 21 on the road. So, with 1 less opportunity, they have 6 more goals. In the first period, they definitely have an advantage over at home, they get more opportunities in the first than the third, and that switches when they're on the road. The opposition has gotten an equal number of opportunities in the first and third here in Nashville, 31 in the first, 31 in the third. Opposition has only scored 3 goals on power plays in the first period, so that's pretty good. The Preds have scored 11 in the first period on 37 opportunities, so they have scored 8 more goals on 6 more opportunities. So they're kind of winning the battle there if they get the power play in the first period. Again, the second period is when they get most of their opportunities. They've had 47 this year, scoring 10 goals. for a rate of about 21%, which is where they are overall for the season. And similarly, in the third period, 21%, 6 goals on 28 opportunities. So the Preds' opportunities to go on the power play in the third period drop pretty significantly from the second to the third. The opposition also has a pretty decent drop. 52 opportunities in the second, but they have more opportunities overall, 115 to the Preds' 112. Primarily, the advantage goes to the second period. They get 5 more than the Preds in the second, and they get 3 more than the Preds in the third, the Preds getting 6 more in the first. So, 52 to 47 second period. Yeah, it's close. I mean, you can't, it's close. 112 to 115. I mean, you can't really say, but the Preds are taking advantage of those power plays, having outscored their opponents by 8 on the power play, 27 to 19 this season. So that's, you gotta give it to them, at least there. So let's take a look at the matchups. We'll start with goal scoring. What we usually do. All right, so Dallas is third in the league in scoring. They are third in the league overall. They're fourth in the first, ninth in the second, and seventh in the third. Interesting that their overall percentage, their overall placement is higher than their placement in any particular period, but their scoring is relatively even. 81 in the first, 87 in the second, and then a little bit of a bump to 97 goals in the third. But so far, evenly scoring throughout the different periods, which is very similar to the Preds. The Preds, however, are last in the league in scoring with 207 goals. They're pretty last in the league in the third period, too. 28th and 26th in the first and second. So, no great shakes there. Scoring pretty even, 61 in the first, 73 in the second, and 69 in the third. So, fairly even. Giving up goals, the Preds are 6th in the league to Dallas's 27th. So Dallas fairly even again on giving up goals, a little stingy. They're in the bottom of the league, bottom half of the league in giving up goals in all 3 periods. So overall, they're 27th. In the first, they're 25th. The second, they're 22nd. And the third, they're 25th. So it kind of goes up a touch in the second. So they've given up 63 goals in the first, 79 in the second, and 77 in the third. Now, the Preds, similar in the first period, only giving up 68. As I said, overall, they're 6th in the league, but they're 19th in the first period. So they here in Nashville, this is overall, not just at home. I guess I could do the home and road stuff too. I guess that would be kind of helpful. But then they give up 102 goals in the second, which is third in the league, and then it drops down slightly to 95 in the third, which is 9th in the league. So they give up a lot of goals. Now, interesting, during this 6-game losing streak for Dallas, they have given up 29 goals to scoring 17. So 29 is more than 10%. They've given up 217 goals all season, and they gave up 29 in the last 6 games. That is very, very remarkable. Comparing that to the 7-game winning streak that they just had, they only gave up 10 goals in those 7 games. So they've given up 3 times the goals in less games. They also scored 28 in goals in the 7-game winning streak. So in their 6-game losing streak, they've given up more goals than they scored in their 7-game winning streak. So yeah, not the best scenario for Dallas right now, but maybe they just that inattention or lack of concern here at the end of the season, or just resting up for the playoffs. Good for Nashville. Taking a look at the penalty situations. Penalty kill, Dallas and Nashville are two of the best teams in the league, 5th and 8th. Dallas 5th, Nashville 8th. Dallas is at 82.1%, 40 goals against on 224 opportunities. However, in the recently, which would be April, they have given up. No, this was since we last played them. Taking the stats that I had from leading up to the game where we played them most recently, in the 21 since then, and I guess including the game in Nashville versus Nashville, they've had 21 opportunities on the penalty kill and have given up 9 goals. So that's their penalty kill in their last bunch of games. I guess that would be the losing streak. It would include the game against Nashville, so that was a win, but it would be the last 7 games, 9 and 21. So they've given up 9 goals in 21 opportunities. So that's not the best. I think they were first or second in the league before that when we met them the other time. They have given up they've scored 8 shorthanded goals, which is 10th in the league. Comparing all of that to Nashville being 8th in the league, 45 goals against on 237 opportunities. So they've given up 5 more goals on 13 more opportunities. Dallas not doing so well recently. The Preds have only scored 1 shorthanded goal this season. That's last in the league. They're the only team that has only scored 1 shorthanded goal. And I'm not exactly sure how I feel about that. I guess Dallas is a pretty good team, 5th in the league, and they're 10th in the league in scoring shorthanded goals, but 7 more. Hard to. If they scored more goals, but I don't think making a shorthanded goal a priority is a good idea when potentially not going to give up the power play goal. So, speaking of power plays, both teams are again roughly about the same, middle of the league, 16th and 18th. Dallas is 16th, Nashville is 18th. Dallas's power play 22.5%, 55 goals for on 244 opportunities. And they've given up 4 shorthanded goals. The Preds 21.9%, 49 goals for on 224 opportunities. So they've scored 6 less goals on 20 less opportunities. And they have given up 5 shorthanded goals. So Nashville is 24th in the league and Dallas is 25th in number of shorthanded goals given up. So both in these penalty kill power play situations, Dallas and Nashville are fairly evenly matched. On the power play, Dallas's 244 opportunities is second most in the NHL. So they have the second most opportunities on the power play and the 10th most goals scored for. So that's they're still doing pretty good, but on the wrong side of that equation, I guess. For goaltenders, Dallas's Jake Ottinger, 36, 17, and 4, had been getting about 3 to 1 of each of Casey DeSmith's starts. That's changed. They have been alternating since the end of March. Alternating games. Casey DeSmith is 14, 8, and 2. So far, Ottinger has been in goal for all 3 games against Nashville. That makes him 2 and 1 this season. Last year, Wedgwood was in goal for the first 2, 1 and 1, and then Ottinger was in goal for the last 2 games last year, 1 and 1. As I said, they have been alternating starts since the end of March, and Ottinger played Detroit. Ergo, believe that we will see DeSmith in goal versus Nashville. For Nashville, we got UC Saros, 1931-6 throughout the season, playing two-ish for each one of Justice Noonan's 9-11-1. That also has changed to where they have been alternating. In the earlier games, Wedgwood was in the first game, which was the first game of the year. Saros was ill and didn't start the first game of the season. Noonan did start the other two, so he's 1-1. The first start he had was a win that ended the 8-game losing streak the Preds were on. Last year against Dallas, Saros was in the games in Nashville, so he was 0-2. Lankinen was in the middle two games, and so he was 2-0. Noonan did not play against Dallas for Colorado last year. They've been so Saros and Noonan have been alternating lately. This being the last game of the season, I think Saros is in goal. It would be Noonan's turn, and maybe I'm kind of not sure about that, but I think probably Saros. It's the last game of the year. Last game of the year, and it's in Nashville. So, yeah. People to watch. Mentioned earlier, the top 3 defensemen in ice time are all on the injured list, so I don't think we're going to be seeing them. I don't think we'll be seeing them. Tyler Seguin is also injured. He's of note because he's got a 20.9% shooting percentage, 9 goals on 43 shots. He's also listed as injured, so I'm not expecting him to come back either. Hard to say. He's only played 19 games, so maybe he will if he's available. Again, not sure. But the people who will be in the lineup, we start with number 21, Jason Robertson, left wing Jason Robertson. First in goals, second in assists, second in points, first in shots. Then there's number 53, center Wyatt Johnston, who's second in goals, fourth in assists, and third in points, second in shots taken. And then there is Mr. Matt Duchesne, ex-Pred, number 95, center, who is third in goals with 30, but first in assists, and so first in points with 81. The other notable thing about Matt Duchesne is that he is second on the team with a shooting percentage of 19.7, 30 goals on 152 shots. So that's a fairly dangerous number. You get over 20, you're kind of in elite league here in the NHL. Which is why I call out Tyler Seguin's 20.9%. He has only played 19 games, but that's, if he's in the game, I guess you have to watch out for that. I guess kind of missed this last time, mentioning his stats anyway, but number 96, right wing Mikko Rantanen. He is now top forward with ice time at 19 minutes. Somebody else had been, I think it was Johnston, had been, and I think Johnston is right behind him, maybe 2 seconds. But Rantanen is now the top forward in ice time at 19 minutes. He has played in 19 games, and he's got 18 points, 5 goals, and 13 assists. So that's your watch list, 21, 53, 95, and 96. For the Nashville Predators, number 9 left wing Philip Forsberg leads all the stats. First in goals, first in assists, first in points, and first in shots. And then you get number 91 Steven Stamkos, who's second on the team in goals, 27. The other call out for Stamkos is that he has 4 goals and 3 assists in the 7 games here in April. So 13 shots, 4 goals, 3 assists. So, yeah, he has played well here in April. Just overall, the team just hasn't played well enough. Number 81, right wing Jonathan Marchessault, 3rd in goals, 2nd in assists, so 2nd in points, and 2nd in shots taken. Then Mr. Ryan O'Reilly, number 90, has moved from 4th in goals to a tie for 3rd. He was 4th across the board, 4th in goals, 4th in assists, 4th in points, 4th in fourth worst plus minus, 4th in time on ice. But now he's 3rd in goals. So, so there you go. And Roman Josi is back for tonight's game, 59. So anybody with the 9 in their number should pay attention to for the Preds. And now, unfortunately, in our Nick Blankenburg watch, he is now -1 plus minus. So the Preds no longer have any players with a positive plus minus who is skating for the team. 3 players on the roster, or 3 players listed. 2 are playing for the Milwaukee Admirals, and 1 is out for the season. Nobody is now above 0 who is actually skating with the team. So, momentum. It's the last game of the year. It's the last game of the year. Dallas is headed to the playoffs on a 6-game losing streak. Their last win was against Nashville, and they're 4-4-2 in their last 10. Hey, I just think they're resting their players. And since they're not playing in Dallas, I guess they lost their last game in Dallas. Last regular season game in Dallas. They're going to have a playoff game here shortly. And that's kind of where they're at, kind of just easing into the playoffs. And Nashville has lost 2 after winning 2 in extra time. Overall, 2-8-0 in their last 10. So it's the last game of the year. It's the last game of the season. It's here in Nashville. You got to say that the Nashville has the advantage on that. More to play for, that's for sure. Should be a good game. Hopefully the Preds come out on top. And finish the season strong with a winning record at home. A winning record at home would be awesome to finish the season with. All right, so this ends the regular season podcasting for me. I will do a playoff preview show, and I'm going to take some of these stats and do a wrap-up show on the season, maybe do a little bit more in depth on what, some of the things I've been thinking about, take a little bit of time. I'm going to be out of town over the weekend, so I won't be working on that. But sometime next week, probably put out something with regards to the kind of a season overview, and maybe even do some of the same statistics for last season as I've done for this year, so we can kind of get a little bit more in depth on, where things might have been the same, might have been different. But that'll be interesting. And then we'll see how it goes. Last season I kept it up in the playoffs by giving a preview for every round, and the Preds were in the playoffs last year, so it kind of got motivated by that, hopeful, which ended quickly. But so we'll see. I'll let you know as it goes. And thanks for listening. Thanks for a good season. And wish the Preds had a better one. But we've had a good season here on Predators Proclivity, and looking forward to next year. Next year, we should have a lot better positive stats for the Preds and have a lot more fun and taking a look at divulging some of these stats. And we'll see where it goes. But hey, thanks for the season. Thanks for listening. I'm Preston Proctor, and you've been listening to Predators Proclivity.